He was really upset and mad over the fact that everyone was saying he was a woman beater. He was mad that Lemon was going with that narrative. So I was like, all right, what you want me to do?
But he is a woman beater.
What are you doing in our yard?
I'm collecting wood.
Dad? He ran. Dad? He ran.
Left a woman beaten with a tree branch. Beat the woman with a tree branch, armed with a tree branch, beating the woman with the branch repeatedly and stealing her cell phone.
Attacking a woman with a 3-foot tree branch, hit the woman with the tree branch and pushed her to the ground.
Walked up to her and hit her with the tree branch.
Basically what happened was on his birthday, Treemix had sent me his docs file of how he had a domestic violence charge, right? On his birthday, I had called him out on it. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm not fucking with you. You can't do for the love of breed. And so he was really upset and mad over the fact that everyone was saying he was a woman beater. He was mad that Lemon was going with that narrative. So I was like, all right, what you want me to do?
But he is a woman beater. But he is a woman beater.
You'll grow in the ghetto, living second rate, and your eyes will sing a song of deep hate. The places you play and where you stay looks like one great big alleyway. You'll admire all the number book takers, thugs, pimps, and pushers, and the big money makers. Driving big cars, spending 20s and 10s, and you wanna grow up to be just like them. Smugglers, scramblers, burglars, gamblers, pickpocket peddlers, even panhandlers. You say I'm cool, I'm no fool, but then you wind up dropping out of high school. Now you're unemployed, all non-void, walking around like your pretty boy Floyd. Turned stick-up kid, but look what you done did. Got sent up for an 8-year bid. Now your manhood is took and you're a make tag. Spend the next 2 years as an undercover fag, being used and abused to serve like hell. Till one day you was found hung dead in the cell. It was plain to see that your life was lost. You was cold and your body swung back and forth. But now your eyes sing the sad, sad song of how you live so fast and die so young. So don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Anti-Afro Spengalis, let me say up front, the story has been floating around these YouTube streets that Treemix Remix was stealing wood whenever he would have temporary jobs so he can bring it back and try to, I guess, add some more wood planks to the shack he was living in. Every bit believable. I am not here to encourage anybody commit any crimes, to run afoul of the law. Certainly that includes stealing. I'm not going to encourage any stealing. But I will say this, if Treemix is going to steal some wood, it's better to try to improve upon the shack that he lives in rather than beating women with it. You shouldn't be stealing anyway, but if you're going to steal, use it for a benefit. Adding wood planks to the shack versus beating women with tree trunks and limbs and 2x4s. I'm providing some clarity about the criminal record for Treemix. I don't mind saying it as often as I need to say it. We are talking only about Hamilton County, Tennessee, which encompasses Chattanooga and other cities. As far as this specific jurisdiction, you have 19 arrests. 11 of these arrests resulted in convictions. There are 4 arrests for physical violence. Every single one of those 4 arrests involved interpersonal violence, which means a relative or a girlfriend. One of the incidents, he cold-cocked his 8-year-old brother in the eye when he was grown, when Treemix was 18. Cold-cocked the 8-year-old brother in the eye, and the mother was the one who called the cops. Of course he ran. He wants to talk about always challenging people to fights, but he sure is running from the cops, right? They caught him. A restraining order was placed. It's a conviction classified as domestic violence. He has another conviction where he beat a woman with either a tree branch or a tree trunk. And I think that story's very interesting because he ran around here telling everybody how women were trying to set him up. How is a woman trying to set him up if he's going over to her house and confronting the woman, claiming she's cheating, and because she won't do what he says, he busts out with tree trunks and tree branches. The other scenario, he again showed up at either the ex-girlfriend or the girlfriend's place, accusing her of cheating. He took a knife, a butter knife, to the woman's neck and threatened to kill her. Took her phone and texted her job, pretending to be her, so she wouldn't go to work. He's claiming that she was sick, so he wanted her to stay home so he can beat on her some more. So when her dad came, he hit the dad. The dad defended himself, and what did he do again? He ran. All that tough talking in these YouTube streets, his ass is running, ducking, and hiding. Whenever he was caught in the public housing complexes, he would run. Caught at the laundromat with crack. Ran. He's always running. How is somebody so big and bad and beating up on people who are smaller or weaker and running when he's confronted? Interesting how Treemix hasn't changed one bit. The facade always falls quickly whenever someone says something about him he doesn't like. It's the same thing you see in these YouTube streets. And then the crying and the whining about people talking about his criminal record. He talks about people's criminal records. He talks about people's criminal records are not even in the Umar Johnson sector. I want it to be clear. 19 arrests in Hamilton County. 11 of those arrests resulted in convictions. Now, I want to clarify something about what Treemix stated for many years. When Fold Up Body and that No Jumper dude was paid by Dumpsy D. Durrell to go digging around in Treemix's criminal history, they came up with these scenarios saying that he beat his mother, saying that he sold alcohol to a minor. They're the ones who were saying that. Treemix was having a conniption fit, crying and whining and saying it wasn't true. They simply were reciting the number of arrests. They did not give any indication about whether he had been convicted of any crime. They were just talking about the arrest. It wasn't until the actual criminal record with the details was pulled up did we learn about all this other stuff. Remix simply repeated over and over and over that he was set up, that the women were mad because he wanted to break up with them, and so they made up stories about him. He admitted to being arrested, but he denied ever being convicted of any domestic violence offenses, and that was a lie. That is what was found out when the criminal record was actually pulled with the details. But he's running around here laughing, pointing fingers at, continuing to mention other people's criminal records. So if he wants to mention other people's criminal records, people can mention his. Who cares if he's mad? And there's no victory for Treemix to claim. His victory includes stabbing people in the back and lying on them and swindling money. That's a victory? That's just one example. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But you don't even need to apply that formula. If somebody wants to talk about his raggedy, dusty ass, they can do that. What stops Treemix from being talked about? Who the hell is he? He wants to claim some sort of victory, snaking people, stabbing people in the back, and swindling money out of them. If a person truly didn't give a damn and they were basking in the glow of having snaked and stabbed others in the back and swindled money, and they're proud of it, they love what they did, they're happy, they're getting a lot out of it, they're running around these YouTube streets, hopping on panels, laughing up a storm, they would continue laughing up a storm. What they would not do is become totally unglued because someone's making comments in a chat about it. If you're proud of what you've done, you're proud of what you've done. But he's not proud. That is the only way he can get others to temporarily, for a very relatively short period of time, to stop what they're doing and partially listen to what he has to say. He may get a couple of dollars out of it, but the second any comments show up in any chats, leveling any type of criticism, displeasure, disagreement, even asking a question that he doesn't think should be asked, he becomes unglued. That's no fun. That's no fun at all. If somebody can just ask a question or make a criticism and it completely showers and storms on the parade you claim you just got together and you're walking down the street having the time of your life. You think anybody in these YouTube streets is going to get me to feel any kind of way about Dumpsy D. Durrell having been cold busted and in all likelihood heading his ass to prison? I celebrate it. I continue to celebrate it. There wouldn't be a damn thing anybody could say or do to get me to change my celebratory disposition towards Dumpsy D. Durrell getting his ass indicted on 9 counts, 5 counts, healthcare fraud, 4 counts of aggravated identity theft. You would never pull me limb from limb and have me hollering and screaming because I don't like what you're saying about how I look at the Dumpsy D. Durrell situation. Who gives a shit? I don't give a damn if you don't talk about it either. It's not going to shower storm on my parade. But Remix is different. Treemix is different. He expects people to go along with the bullshit, and the second any displeasure is expressed, he starts to make threats, claiming he can get people off YouTube or get you up out of here. All like, what the hell? Who actually believes any of this shit has any validity to it? The last functioning brain cell goes into spastic mode. He's up here threatening binary as of late, but on a rant about binary and his family and his kids because binary is talking about him. Well, so is everyone else. That tends to happen when you act like a whole mofo fool up in these YouTube streets. I don't give a crap what Treemix says about me. Here's the bottom line. Whatever he says about anybody, he's always going to be gazillion times over and over and over, significantly more press distressed, outraged, angry, out of control, raging, threatening because someone's saying something about him. And you actually don't even need to say anything about Treemix. He just will get into his pea brain that you are sneak dissing him. It'll be the same result as if you talked about his mama, daddy, sister, brothers, kids, every relative. He has the same reaction. As far as me being over in Binary's channel, what's it to you? Big deal. This is another opportunity for him to come up with even more lies, trying to pin shit on me that he knows has nothing to do with me. But that's par for the course. As you see in that criminal record, the behavior hasn't changed. All of this screaming and hollering about my mama this and my mama that. How much respect did he have for his mom when he cold cocked his brother in the face? That's just bullshit. Same thing about I take care of my kids. How are you taking care of your kids when you had child support warrants? Like it says here, on February 8, 2009, defendant was a passenger in a vehicle. I stopped for a light law violation. I asked his name and he stated Dennis Jackson, date of birth, social security number. He then ran from the vehicle on foot. He was told to stop and continued to run. He was caught approximately 1 block away and taken into custody. The defendant had active warrants for resisting arrest, probation violation, for possession of crack, domestic assault, and a child support warrant. Keep in mind, we're talking about Hamilton County alone between the years of 2003 and 2018. This is the shit he was doing. He wasn't raising no children during that time. Proof by what I just stated and child support warrant. How are you having a child support warrant if you're taking care of your kids? If you have a child support warrant, that means you haven't been paying child support. But he talks about what a great dad he is. He does the opposite. If you're a great dad, do you say that all the time? I'm a great dad, I'm a great dad, I'm a great dad. Don't good and great dads always want to be better dads? They will never think they do enough for their kids. They don't run around bragging about what a great dad they are. So that's a dead giveaway right there. What I suggest is he stole that wood. They tried to upgrade that cabin, that shack, to Ted Kaczynski level. Remember Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber? They found out where he lived out there in Montana in the shack. Since he stole the wood, instead of beating women with wood and branches and trees, improve upon that cabin to see if you can get it up to Ted Kaczynski level. Listen, folks, you know I got more coming your way. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.